Hey, welcome back. Today we are going to replace a windshield bracket on this R1250GS. These videos are sponsored by the online part store at packmototours.com/store. You can get 6,000 and 12,000 mile maintenance packages for your R1200 and R1250 BMW motorcycles. For example, right here is a 12,000 mile service kit for an R1250 motorcycle. It comes complete with 4 quarts of oil, oil filter, air filter, final drive fluid, spark plugs, and all the crush rings and O-rings you need to complete the project. You'll save hundreds by doing this project yourself. Hey, if you enjoy these videos or learn something from these videos, you can subscribe right here. So today we're going to replace the windshield bracket that's broken on my 2019 R1250GS. So the windshield brackets are fairly straightforward. Well, at least the left side is fairly straightforward. The right side is a little bit more complicated. I'll show you how to do both sides. Here are the brackets. These slide up and down a linear guide. And I broke the bracket on this left side, and we're going to replace it today with one of these new brackets. You ready? Let's go jump in. The first step is to remove the windshield. There's a T25 screw here on the right side and a matching one on the left side. I will use a T25 screwdriver and remove these 2 screws. With those 2 screws removed, we'll just make a slight tug down and the windshield comes off. So a bit of a close-up. You can see that on the right-hand side, this bracket's okay. This one on the left-hand side is broken. I have a new bracket here to replace the broken bracket. Our next step is we'll remove these T25 screws here, and there are 2 on the sides as well to remove this cowl. Now this cowl just gets removed, and you can see where we have this bracket on the right-hand side and the broken one here on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, it slides up and down. And as you can see, we will replace this one with a new windshield bracket that goes up and down this linear guide. So the trick is, there's a screw on the top and the screw on the bottom. We need to remove this top screw so that this bar will slide down just enough to get this windshield bracket on. There is a C-clip here on the end of this pin. We need to remove this pin to remove this part of the bracket. So let's just remove this. There it is. We'll remove the pin. In order to get this plastic cover off, there are 2 screws that we need to remove. So I'll use a 10mm wrench on this side and a T30 over here. I can get my T30 wrench in here, but it doesn't fit here because of the TFT screen. I could remove a bracket or remove all 3 mounting points on the TFT and give me plenty of room, but I think I'm going to try a little trick. Instead, I'm going to use a T30 Torx bit and an open-end wrench. So you can see I can fit this in. Whoops. Just fits in there. Then I can take my open-end wrench and turn it. Well, there's one of the clips. There's going to be another one on the top, but I can't get to it just the way I am. There we go. Very easily put a T25 right here. You can see I can lower this bar, but I'll slide off. There's the broken piece. I will slide on the new piece, just like that. Replace my T25 screw. I'm going to put a dab of Loctite on here. Nice and tight. My new slider bar. If you look inside this cover, one only needs to remove the back screw by the TFT display, not this front screw. And as you pull it off, it pulls itself back. There's 3 or 4 clips here that you have to gently disengage so you don't break a clip. And I'm going to go ahead and put this screw back into place. Okay. Again, we'll put this cover on and then start to screw this screw back in. You can hear it snap back into place. And I'm using an open end wrench to turn this Torx bit to tighten this cover back into place. Okay, nice and tight. Put my bracket back into place. Can put these 2 screws back in now. This back into place. Put my pin in. I'm going to give it a little tap with a hammer. We have tapped this pin all the way through. Now I need to get the C-clip back on. There we go. So if you've broken this left side bracket, there's not a cover covering the top of this bolt, but unscrewing this bottom bolt doesn't do any good because you can't slide the guide up, and you can't get a screwdriver in here because this mechanism is up tight against the bolt. So I'm going to tell you what I did. So I'm not going to do it because this one's not broken and doesn't need to be replaced. Rather than removing this entire assembly, the trick I found was using a file off an edge, rotate it over, file off an edge, so there's a flat spot on both sides. I used an 8mm open end wrench, and then when I replaced it with an M5 with a flathead bolt on it, so if it ever breaks again, that is easy to get a tool onto rather than this. Now with my bracket there, you can see I can move this back and forth again. This one's been replaced on this slider bar, and now I just need to put the windshield back on. So let's do that. Before the windshield goes on, let's get this cowl back on first. Slide the windshield back into place. And 2 T25 screws. Good as new. Okay, there we go. We have replaced the left-hand slider bracket for the windshield. I showed you how to replace the one with a little trick on the right-hand side. You can see everything here is as good as new. These videos are sponsored by packmototours.com, so come check us out. Drop us a like or subscribe here if you've learned something from these videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.